folks, it's Kat.Beanie and welcome back to another mining episode in my long-term survival world where I am mining for diamonds in my pre-1.19 generation. And so far, if you watched yesterday's episode, I got one block. Just one. Just one. So it's been pretty shambolic thus far. But we shall continue as we mean to go on. What does that phrase even mean? Continue as I mean to go on. How do you know what I mean to do? I could mean to give up right now, but apparently the phrase, things, yeah. But anyway, God, I can't believe it's been. Well, if you watched yesterday's episode, if you've not, stop, go watch that. Right, first. Right, here's a list of things that you need to do. A. Like and subscribe to this channel, because I'm awesome. To an extent. I do post a video out every day, so if you like to listen to some random people like scramble about on the internet doing Minecraft videos, then hey. Diamonds! Woo! Yeah, and two, go watch yesterday's video because I have a whole thing about talking about my kid's birthday, yada yada, which is coming up soon. And how have I not seen this before? Yeah, don't go off on a tangent. Don't go off on a tangent. Don't go. Is there seriously only one? But yeah, my youngest kid is going to be 1 in November, and I seriously am contemplating like how time works here, because I'm like, did I not just like bring her home yesterday? How the crap did that happen? But apparently no, I did not just bring her home yesterday, which is sad. I'm sad. Am I going the wrong way? Am I? Oh no, this is the end point, so I don't need to mine anymore. So that spider's trying to. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog go fast, buddy. My son is currently getting his nappy on by his dad. So if you hear any Sonic referring to whoa! Mate, you got over here fast. He was going so slow in that water. And then it's like, boom, I'm there. Like Kaiser Soze did way over here. If you don't understand that reference and you're old enough, go watch Usual Suspects. But I think I said that right. Like, I don't know why, but my dyslexia has been like really prudent the past. Did anybody hear that? I swear to God, your anatomy disturbs me.
What's up?
I don't think I need to voice what sound that was, but yeah. Yeah, but as I was saying, like, I literally feel like I just brought my kid home from the hospital like the other day, and now she's gonna be almost 1. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm like happy that I don't need to worry about like SIDS and stuff like as much. But like, damn, it's almost been a whole year already. Like this time last year, I was still pregnant. How did that happen?
Well, when two people love each other,
I do not need an anatomy lesson from you. Thank you very much. My husband's like, well, when two people love each other very, very much. Thankfully, our 8-year-old son does not understand what you're talking about. Otherwise, it could have been a disastrous conversation. Yeah, so how are babies made? Although, one of the downsides to having a child with additional support needs that does not understand how babies are made is wanting, well, not wanting, but keeps telling me I've got a baby in my tummy because, you know, I only vacated the last one less than a year ago, and, you know, the stomach still has some shrinking to do. So my loving son keeps reminding me that it ain't what it used to be. Although, buddy, it ain't been what it used to be since I had your sister. There is no repairing what she did to me. His big sister, not his little sister. That girl was huge. Night, buddy. Love you. Yeah, so he's away to bed. I didn't mention in my last episode yesterday, which I recorded directly previous to this one, that he would be going to bed soon. So that is him going to bed soon. I deal with the little one's nappies, he deals with the big one's nappies. Divide and conquer, my friends. And this is your friendly reminder that if you have a wild wife, she probably needs a nap. I always need a nap. Do I get naps? No, I do not. Although, I did get a lie-in on Sunday. Oh, why am I yawning? I did get a lie-in on Sunday, so... Was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. And we currently have no washing machine. Because our washing machine broke. But thankfully, a new one is getting delivered tomorrow. But now there is a massive pile of washing that needs to be done. So the husband tends to put it in the washer and dryer, and I do all the sorting, folding, putting away. Which I think he got the easier end of, because he's just moving stuff from like A to B, whereas I have to sort it into like 5 different piles and remember whose stuff belongs to which person. Why do people even wear clothes? Oh yeah, because you'll get arrested. Although I literally have no shame when it comes to stuff. Well, not shame. Well, I don't have shame anyway, but when it comes to anything like that, it's like they say when you have kids, you leave your dignity at the door. Like the amount of doctors that have seen some scary things. So stuff like body stuff that might make other people embarrassed does not bother me in the slightest. I do not get embarrassed easily, having spent many times in public, lying on the floor in the middle of a busy street, having to restrain my child who was trying to attack themselves and other people on the pavement. So properly, I might add. I do know how to properly restrain him without getting myself or him injured. Just for clarification. Thankfully, I have not had to do that for a while. I find that like a lot of people, some, if not a lot, of behavioural issues come from a lack of needing to be understood, or like a lack of being understood and not having your needs and wants met. And obviously, if you really, really need something, like say you're really, really bursting on the toilet, and the only way you can get to the toilet is by someone else being able to help you, but you can't speak, you can't write, you don't know sign language. How do you communicate that you need to go to the toilet and that this person needs to help you? And then obviously you'd get upset if you got wet, or worse, because your needs hadn't been met. You know, it's very frustrating for people that can't. I myself, like, I get a sore throat, like a really bad sore throat, maybe once a year. It's weird, but yeah, once a year I get like laryngitis. And I use a combination of British Sign Language, the very limited British Sign Language that I know, Makaton, which is another form of sign, mainly used for people with additional support needs, and Sign Along, which is also very similar to Makaton, but can sometimes have different signs. I use a combination of all three with Nathan to communicate, because he was previously non-verbal or pre-verbal, as some people say. He could not verbally communicate. Obviously there was a point where he could not effectively communicate whatsoever, and obviously back then more frustration, more anger, meltdowns. Thankfully we're past that point with him. But yeah, so the only person that I can communicate with when I have a sore throat effectively is Nathan. But now here's the problem. Nathan obviously still has a very limited capacity for language, or what limited language he knows and uses to communicate. And my husband doesn't know any sign language, Makaton, or Sign Along. So apart from the basic, drink, food, etc., trying to get Nathan to effectively communicate to his dad what I need is like just insane. It just doesn't work. So yeah, I have been in the position a few times where I cannot communicate effectively, and do not have anyone to communicate on my behalf. Which is a worry for the future when I do eventually lose my hearing. I'm hoping I'll, like, you know, maybe die before that happens. Well, I'm not saying that I would rather be dead than deaf. That is definitely not what I am saying. And I would much rather be deaf than sort of losing some other sensory stuff that I have. Where is right there? So I need to come out here and go down here. Right, okay. So that 1, 2, yeah, this one. Yeah, what I was saying was that I hope that I die of old age or, you know, natural causes. Before it catches up with me. I don't like wearing hearing aids. Like, my ears get itchy, my ears get sore. I find noise very overstimulating. Essentially, I only wear them for other people's benefit. If I didn't have to communicate verbally the way I do with other people, I wouldn't wear hearing aids at all. Ever. I'd be quite happy with a crap ton of sign language. Which I am now currently trying to start to teach the youngest, just in case she turns out to be autistic. That way it won't be something that she has to then learn. It'll be something that's already ingrained into her communication. Because she'll have had it from such a young age. Because we are already noticing signs with her that she is potentially autistic. Which is fine. She's going to be who she's going to be. We have absolutely no issues with her being autistic whatsoever. We knew the chances, we knew the possibility. So it's not something we're really upset. Like, as I've said before, I would be upset about it from the perspective of that I know it's going to make life harder for her. Like, possibly socially, potentially with communication, with potentially having cognitive learning needs like her brother, you know, all that sort of stuff. And nobody wants their child to suffer. But again, my kids wouldn't be who they are were it not for them being autistic. So if being neurotypical was going to change who she is meant to be as a person, then that's not something I would wish. She is going to be the person that she is meant to be. Because her brain has formed the way it has. There is nothing wrong or bad about an autistic brain. We just need to make the world a little bit more accessible. It's getting there. It's not there yet. Like, I do feel that a lot of people are more accepting of autistic children, but when it comes to autistic adults that have what some people would perceive as unusual behaviors, they seem to be less tolerant. Like, I've mainly seen this around... I'm not going to go into specific details because there's other people involved that probably don't want their stories told. But, like, I've seen this around mostly parents of neurotypical children. Essentially being confronted, well, not confronted, but being exposed to an autistic person. Being exposed to an autistic person and being worried or aggressive or concerned about their behaviour around that person's neurotypical child. And like, it's not just autistic people, but people with other hidden disabilities that I've seen this with. When some disabled people exhibit behaviour that some people, you know, deem undesirable, those people deem to get offended or, you know, scared or worried or whatever about it, and when there's absolutely no reason to be. Now, I understand people, you know, if they're exposed to behaviour that is worrying or concerning to them, but are then told, look, this is what's going on, this is why this person is behaving the way they are, and then being okay with it, that I completely get. What I can't understand, like, is as long as people are willing to be open and obviously understanding of other people's needs. But what I don't understand and can't tolerate is when someone has been, like, this, someone's medical condition has been quite graciously explained to them, because nobody owes them an explanation. But if someone has took the time to educate them on this person's condition, with obviously the consent of the person involved, if they are able to give said consent. Obviously, in situations like mine with my son, he doesn't understand and cannot consent to those situations. Well, I've got chests in here to take down the next time. So obviously I need to use my best judgment in those sorts of situations and inform the person of what's going on his behalf. Let's see. Which I'm sure a lot of carers have been in the same situation and have had to do likewise. But like with anybody with a disability, they don't owe anyone an explanation of, you know, oh, by the way, I'm disabled and this is why I do things this way, or this is why I act like this, or, you know, nobody is owed your medical information. So, sometimes it just makes people a little more understanding of what that person is currently dealing with themselves. And they can be like, oh, okay, I didn't realise that, you know, they had a cognitive disability, and I didn't realise they had like a sensory issue that resulted in this behaviour, or I didn't understand that this was overstimulating to them, I will stop, or you know, oh, these lights are too bright, we can do something about that, you know, in situations where it's beneficial for them to know. But it's the ones that know, have been told, have been informed, and still act like a-holes just because they feel like they're entitled to something. I'm not quite sure what they think they're entitled to, but there's always one. That needs to be kicked. Right. Da, 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 da. 3 diamonds. Right, put these away and then I'll call it a day for this episode. But yeah, when people want to be helpful and supportive and like, I'll always remember like one day in the street, how many have I got? 181, so I've now got 184 locks. Yeah, one time in the street, I was uptown, I can't remember what for, but I was uptown with my son by myself, and he was kicking off and I didn't have his buggy, and I was literally sitting in the middle of Edinburgh's busiest street on the ground, restraining my son, having XYZ amount of people walk past, staring, muttering, commenting, making derogatory comments, blah 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 blah. and this one woman came up to me, just turned around and said, "Oh, my oldest is autistic. Is there anything I can help you with?" I was just like, "No, but thank you very much." And we had like a little back and forth while I'm sitting there trying to calm him down, and you don't understand unless you've been there. And I get my kill out of people that turn around and go, "Oh, if my kid was acting like that, I would do this or I would do that." Or it's like, yeah, well, you go do that with your child then. But it's usually parents, well, people that have never been in the position that you're in, whatever problem you're facing, whatever that is. It's always people that have never had to face that particular hardship that always seem to have the most to say about it. And this is why I refuse to take parenting advice from anyone, and I mean anyone, that has not parented a disabled child. And because they have not parented a disabled child. Now, I do have one exception to that, and that is autistic people themselves. Other autistic people, because obviously some of them may have, and I say may have because every autistic person is different, may have potentially been or understand the current situation which I am dealing with, or the perspective from which my son feels about things that I cannot, because now I usually use my son for obviously examples like that, but mainly because he does have the cognitive disability. But mainly I would use help more understanding my oldest, because there is a higher chance of other autistic people being in her situation and having a good grasp on her issues than there is on any of them having any idea of what my son's dealing with. Because now this is not meant to any offence to any actually autistic people out there listening to this, but a lot of them may not have the cognitive disabilities that my son does, that comorbidly associate with his autism. So the autistic people that would be commenting that they don't have the cognitive disabilities he does, so therefore can't understand his perspective. And the autistic people that do have the cognitive disabilities that he does, unfortunately also cannot comment on his perspective because of the nature of the disabilities. So it's a double-edged sword. I would very much love to have a grasp of what he's thinking better, but it's like I could wish upon a star to have one day inside his mind, just to know what's going on, know what he wants, know what he loves, know his deepest dreams and emotions and how he experiences the world. But I can only do what I can do and what I think is best for him on how I perceive him. And all the people that understand what he's going through can't give me advice. Hello. Obligatory beacon. I don't know what I can put on this. Do you get to pick? You just pick one, I take it? Oh, it's got the regeneration anyway because it's like a full beacon, but do you have to click the regeneration? I don't know how beacons. Yeah. Haste. I really should try mining down here at some point. Is that faster? I don't know. I think I need to use a thing to like change it.
You'll be in the top tier. We're bottom league group A, the top league group A. So we got promoted to group A.
Why is it?
We've been the win group A.
I don't understand how it works.
So if you win group A,
is that faster? If someone could explain this magic portal thing, well not portal thing, but like this magic do that to me, that would be great. Anyway, guys, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.